We're driven by the search for better. But when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors, according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. Leveraging over 140 million qualifications and preferences every day, Indeed's matching engine is constantly learning from your preferences, so the more you use Indeed, the better it gets. Join more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/Blue Wire. Just go to Indeed.com/Blue Wire right now and support our show by saying that you heard about Indeed on this podcast. That's Indeed.com/Blue Wire. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed.
There's more to imagine when you listen, so let your imagination soar with Audible. Audible has audio titles from every genre that will inspire you to imagine new worlds, possibilities, and ways of thinking. As an Audible member, you get to choose one title a month to keep from their entire catalog. Enjoy an exciting reawakening of a beloved classic with the Audible original David Copperfield by Charles Dickens, produced by Academy Award-winning director Sam Mendes, starring Ncuti Gatwa, Helena Bonham Carter, and Theo James. This adaptation breathes new life into a familiar tale. New members can try Audible free for 30 days. Visit audible.com/imagine or text IMAGINE to 500-500. That's audible.com/imagine or text IMAGINE to 500-500.
I got good ASMR. Right, chew ice directly in the microphone.
I would really rather you didn't.
Oh.
I'm trying to decide if this is something that we should leave in as the cold open.
No, it's up to Arthur. So it's if he wants to do
or
that.
if we want everyone, because ultimately we do that if we want almost everyone to immediately turn the podcast off, which is what you probably should do anyway.
Yeah, it's like, oh God, what is he doing? He's chewing.
I'm usually pretty good. I usually mute the mic when I chew ice, or at least I back away enough that you don't hear it. Why would I have a soft ice machine in my house if I wasn't going to obsessively chew ice?
I don't know. I mean, my strategy is to get the ice in liquid form, and then there's no chewing.
Not the same. Not the same at all. Welcome, everyone, to the Sickos Committee Podcast. This is our podcast for the evening of September 3rd, 2024. Hope everyone had a great Labor Day with an OR or an OUR. Take your pick on where you are.
Labor Day.
It was Canadian Labor Day as well, because they had the Labor Day Classic, or whatever they call it, the Labor Day Showdown, whatever it's called, in the CFL. I don't know.
Well, no, it's basically Labor Day is hate week in the CFL.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but I love it. I don't know why it's that way, but it's like they're all Labor Day classics, and it's just all their rivals play each other on that week.
It kind of makes sense. It's like how Hate Week is historically, traditionally Thanksgiving weekend. You got the holiday, so you can get the extra hate-ins.
Yes.
Sorry, you need that extra day for extra hating.
Calgary and Edmonton had extra hate going on this weekend.
That's right.
Sure.
I mean, Winnipeg and Saskatchewan just hating. Hate. Who was the one team that had to sit out for Hate Week because there's 9 CFL teams?
Oh, I don't know who had to sit out this week.
Who didn't get to hate anybody this week? Look at the app.
It's always so bizarre that they have to sit with someone out.
Do you mean to tell me that there is a team in the CFL that is unrivaled?
They're Penn State, very much so. Yeah.
Okay, let's see who Penn State is in
Who's
the CFL.
CFL Penn State?
Who is the CFL Penn State? So week 13, you had the BC Lions play the Red Blacks.
Yeah.
Then you had the Blue Bombers play the Rough Riders. And
Okay.
then the Ticats versus the Argonauts, which is like Toronto and Hamilton are
Yeah.
right next to each other. And then you had the Elks and the Stampeders. So unrivaled are the
Yeah.
Montreal Alouettes.
Yeah, that tracks
Yeah,
actually.
the
Is
French.
is State College actually French Pennsylvania? My column. There's German Pennsylvania.
Yes, that's most of
There must be a
Pennsylvania.
French Pennsylvania.
Actually.
State College. Just what is Happy Valley in French?
We should do this.
Val Joyeux?
Yeah, Valjoyeux. I think so. Hold up. Google Translate, help me.
Google Translate to the rescue.
I don't want French restaurants in Happy Valley, goddammit.
Sickos Committee Google translates things.
It is
Jacques Franklin.
Vallée Heureuse. I think Joyous Valley is a better translation. Vallée du Joyeux. Yeah, I like that better.
He's now known as Jacques Franklin.
Yeah, Joyous Valley translates literally as Vallée Joyeuse. So close enough.
I do like Jacques Franklin as their head coach.
Jacques.
He's got the mustache and the beret and the striped shirt, but it's like white and blue instead of black and white.
Yes,
That's just a mime, Pitt Girl. That's just a mime. Not every French person's a mime.
And he's walking around with a bag with a baguette sticking out of it, so you know he's French.
As always, I'm Jordan, and with me tonight I have Commish, Pitt Girl, and Arthur. Beth will be here soon. She is on assignment. Whose assignment? I don't know. On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
She's in Western Virginia.
Commish, how are you, sir?
Oh, good. It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday that was like a light Monday.
Yeah.
Because like everybody rushed to get everything done on Friday. It's like I need it all done by Friday because we got a holiday coming up, and then like they didn't save anything for Tuesday, which was great because I was tired from 5 straight days of football. So relaxed. We're getting a lot of rain in San Antonio, which we love it. But you know, of course, there's flooding. But otherwise, we're okay. We're doing good.
Pitt Girl, how are you?
I am good. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday, indeed. Arthur, how are you, sir?
Oh boy. I'm never prepared when you ask me that because like half the time you ask me, half the time you don't.
I know. I'm really bad about that. I'm trying to get better about that. I promise.
Well, I had the Taco Bell Baja Blast Gelato today.
Oh,
how was that?
Mike Golick Jr. Yeah.
I mean, so here's the thing, right? It's app you can only get it if you have the Taco Bell app, and it's okay. Like it's exactly what you'd think it would be. It tastes like Baja Blast. I don't love Baja Blast flavor that's not in like soda form.
Okay.
Because I think it's a little too sweet when there's no carbonation. Like I'm not a big fan of the Baja Blast freezes that they have on their regular menu. I'm a big fan of the soda. You know, the carbonation I think is an important part. So you know, it was something that you know, it's a small portion. I think it was 3.6 ounces. Like it's a little thing.
Golick told me. Golick showed it was a tiny little thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, I heard that the texture was more icy than gelato.
Yeah, I don't know because I don't really eat a lot of gelato. I mean, my frozen dessert, like if you look in my freezer at any given time, you'll just see cartons and cartons of Tillamook ice cream. So I don't really get a lot outside of that. Like every time I'm at Giant Eagle, I see there's a sale on Tillamook. It's like, okay, I grab a couple. So like I have a large supply that I work through. And just every time I see it on sale, I buy more. It's expensive if you buy it not on sale, but like, I don't know, Giant Eagle's putting it on sale so often that I just have a supply for a reasonable amount of money.
Nice. Well, did we all watch a football game last night? This is Tuesday, by the way. I'm talking about Monday.
We did.
Did we all see it?
We all saw.
I actually didn't. I was editing the podcast episode for the previous episode, so I was doing that instead of watching.
Okay.
We
almost everyone saw.
But I do know what happened.
So Monday night, we all got to watch Boston College play Florida State. It was the only game on Monday night.
We all saw.
We all saw.
Everyone saw.
Everyone saw. I like that.
We all
I
saw.
woke up and I had Pitt Girl's voice in my head, and it was just like Florida State. It's gonna happen again. Everyone will see, and I was like, it happened, and everyone saw.
It was the true nightmare scenario where Boston College just ran over that ass.
Yeah, they did.
Boston College had 263 rushing yards to Florida State's 21.
Yeah, I don't know what the game plan was with Florida State. Like, they couldn't connect on any passes, but they just kept passing.
Yeah.
At one point in this game, Florida State had 6 plays for 8 yards.
Well, this game started with no clock on the field. So
Mhm.
they were just keeping clock on the wristwatch of the refs, which meant that we got this great spot where the announcers were like, well, that can't be the last play of the first quarter. There's probably about 2 minutes left, and then immediately whistle, end of quarter. Great. Beautiful.
I had the tweet. I was like, I think Boston College has had the ball for like a lot of the first quarter, but I can't tell. But then when the clock came back, they had it for like 14 minutes and 9 seconds of the first quarter. I was like, holy crap, BC. But yeah, BC wasn't scared at all. They just like, I'm just gonna run the ball in your face, like just constantly run the ball in the face. And then Castellanos, which was, I mean, we enjoyed watching him last year. We knew he was
100%.
We knew he was basically somebody that I would say like he's an electric player, but last year he was kind of like trying to figure things out. And so there was a lot of like short circuits, or like he had that great play on like a 4th down where he ran like 40 yards backwards, like you were playing Madden against somebody last year. But then like it seemed like he, I guess, finally is figuring out an offense and how to lead an offense. So he was like kind of controlling the game. And BC kept putting him in really good down and distance situations. They were playing EA Sports College Football 25, like Jordan, wheel route.
Hammer the fucking wheel route. It was wheel routes and runs up the middle. There was one point where Boston College just decided to run it up the gullet every play and dare Florida State to stop them, and they didn't. And it was great. It was almost old school Steve Spurrier, like try it, do it until you can stop me. I'm going to keep doing this, and your job is to stop me. And they couldn't.
Nope.
Someone brought up a ESPN little clip from a week ago talking about how the Florida State D-line, multiple NFL draftees, blah, 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 blah. And then 2 weeks of them just getting completely ripped to shit. There was one point in this game where it started getting a little dicey. I was afraid Boston College was just going to choke this thing. Pitt Girl, I noticed that you were having that same reaction too.
Yes. It's eternal. Some of this is a function of the fact that I'm a Pitt fan and like I know how these things go. But then it didn't go that way.
No, there was a point. There was really, really, really something like when Florida State, they're like, okay, they're back in the game. They got a big play. They hit like, you were kind of like, okay, Florida State's having to resort to a trick play to get down the field. But then they punched it in. And so it was 21-13. And then you're like, okay, what's BC going to do? Or they just drive right down the field, running the ball up the middle, like every single play, almost over and over. They Marshawn lynched Florida State. they did that. They just run the ball in my fuck's face over and over and over and over.
Truly, though, it says so much about the Florida State team, which apparently was getting a lot of hype for its defensive line before the season actually started, that Boston College is just running up the middle at like 5 yards a clip on you.
There was the clip. It was like Pete Thermos said that NFL scouts really love the Florida State defensive line. There's going to be a lot of high draft picks. And now I'm just like, what NFL scouts? Like, what team? Like, what teams? And then, like, I asked that question, and everybody said Carolina Panthers. I was like, God damn. As a Saints fan, that made me happy, though.
I will give credit to Jason Kirk, at Jason Kirk _FYI on Twitter, in case you don't know that. you're listening to us and not following Jason Kirk, what the fuck are you doing?
I mean, he is essentially like the Sickos Committee Commissioner Emeritus or
Yeah,
whatever.
he is one
Yeah.
of the ones that inspired us to do this shit.
Essentially.
He is.
He's our dad.
Yeah.
Didn't Holly call us like her weird children at one point?
Our bastards, weird bastard step
That's right.
children or whatever.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Jason said the only examples I can find of a CFB team being momentarily ranked in the top 10, but despite having an 0-2 record. 1967, Texas was briefly number 8 at 0-2 until the next day's AP update. Same for 2022 Notre Dame, and now until this morning's AP poll. 2024 Florida State is both number 10 and 0-2.
So there was a tweet that said the last time Florida and Florida State both lost at home by 15 or more points apiece on the same weekend was 1973 until this weekend.
Ooh.
So I had to do some research.
That's like prehistoric Florida State.
All right, so that's 1973. If that repeats itself,
Mm-hmm.
the national champion is Notre Dame.
Fucking hell. No, thank you.
Ew.
So then I was like, here's the final AP poll. You could try to figure out the 12-team playoff. There was a lot of different things. Somebody said that the 1 seed would be Penn State, Oklahoma 2 seed, Arizona State 3 seed, NC State 4 seed, Notre Dame's the 5 seed,
Yeah.
Ohio State 6 seed, Michigan 7 seed, Bama 8, Houston 9 seed, Texas Tech 10 seed.
Ooh.
Either Nebraska or USC would be the 11 seed, and the 12 seed would be Miami, Ohio.
Oh, hell yeah. That's a great playoff.
Okay.
I'll take that.
That's using the current affiliations of conferences. If you use the old affiliations, that gets a little bit all crazy, and I don't want to go through all that.
Well, back in the 70s, also, like, not everyone was in a conference. There were way more.
No,
independents.
I mean, the independents kind of died in like 92 at the latest.
We did have a new AP poll today. Not a ton interesting, like, moving around. I do want to just zoom in real fast at others receiving votes, because that's the fun one here.
I mean, that's what we want to talk about. You know, Felder's not here to make us actually talk about the poll.
The fact that Florida State, in addition to dropping out, but dropped all the way out with a fat 0 in terms of votes.
Like none. Nobody was just like
teams that got more votes than Florida State. Colorado had 1 vote still.
It's the same guy.
UNLV, who thrashed Houston, 1 vote. Arkansas, who absolutely ran over Arkansas Pine Bluff, 2. West Virginia, who got their butts handed to them by Penn State, 2. Kentucky, 2. App State, 3. UTSA, 3. This is real G5 respect.
A lot, yeah.
Putting them above not Penn State, Florida State. My bad.
Yeah.
I know.
You gonna keep going or no?
No, I'll read the rest of them. Sure. So basically, we had those: North Carolina 4 votes, Tulane 4 votes, Auburn 8, Wisconsin 8, Vandy 8.
Yeah.
Got to figure out the last time Vandy received votes in an AP poll. That had to have been a while.
It has been a while.
It was probably when James Franklin was
Had
there.
to have been.
Yeah.
It has to have
probably.
been.
With 12, Washington 20, SMU 23, Nebraska 27, Memphis 27, Iowa State 32, Boise State 47, Boston College 49, and Texas Agricultural and Mechanic 97.
Is it mechanical or mechanic?
No, it's none of those now, because the name actually stands for nothing anymore. It's like Prince's symbol.
Okay.
That's a reference, folks, for people who remember when that happened.
I know that one.
The Aggies, formerly known as Agriculture Mechanical.
Boise State technically is our highest G5 currently.
Yeah.
So they would be getting the G5 spot in this current setup. Ralph Russo, let me find the tweet real fast. Ralph Russo, who's in charge of the AP poll and follows us, which is
if you're
wild.
mad at the ranking, just yell at Ralph.
Yeah, it's all his fault.
It's all his fault.
The current way it would be split up is the 1 seed Georgia, 2 seed Ohio State, 3 seed Utah, 4 seed Miami. 5 is Texas, 6 Alabama, 7 Notre Dame, 8 Ole Miss, 9 Oregon, 10 Penn State, 11 Mizzou, and 12 Boise State. So the games would be Oregon versus Ole Miss, banger. Boise State versus Texas, banger. Penn State versus Notre Dame, I could ban.
That Oh
If-
my god, the
I-
content we would get out of that game.
I'm cheering for an asteroid on that one.
Yeah, I was just thinking about how I just had a game in which I was rooting for an asteroid, and that would be another one.
And then
I don't know. I mean,
Mizzou versus Alabama.
I think for Notre Dame, like people are kind of I get that a lot of people historically are Notre Dame haters. I'm honestly young enough that like I don't hate Notre Dame that much because like they've never won a meaningful bowl game in my lifetime. Like
Yeah.
there's a little
Oh,
bit of
yeah.
there's a little
Uh,
bit where it's like,
Oh my god.
yeah, like
His
I
his
get I
his,
get
his
how people
has
talk about Notre Dame, but it's like I haven't seen it personally ever.
So I will counterpoint this as someone who is the same age as you. That is actually why I hate Notre Dame, is
Really?
because they get into the fancy pants bowl games largely because their name is Notre Dame, but their name is writing checks that their asses can't cash.
See, I like them. I like them in those big bowl games because it's funny. But I also think that like this edition of Notre Dame being like a team that breaks through, there's a lot of comedy there from a Brian Kelly perspective.
That's fair.
So like
that we'd
I don't
have
know.
to update the Brian Kelly pain scale again. Yes.
Yes.
I like Marcus Freeman has me at a point where I'm like not rooting for Notre Dame, but like there's other schools that I would like to see win less than them.
I'm trying to find the last major bowl game they won.
It's back to like the 90s. If we're
that we would
talking
say-
purely BCS, like
No, I'm not.
year
I'm
six
just,
level.
I would say probably the last major bowl game they won was the 94 Cotton Bowl over A&M, 24-21.
Yes.
Because since then they have won a Hawaii Bowl, a Sun Bowl versus Miami in 2010,
Yeah.
a Pinstripe Bowl that was vacated, a Music City Bowl over LSU,
Uh-huh.
a Citrus Bowl, a Camping World Bowl, a Gator Bowl, and a Sun Bowl. That's not the resume of a
Listener, I was in utero the last time that Notre Dame won a meaningful bowl game.
We've talked about this before pretty recently, but
So yeah, I think that Notre Dame, like the Notre Dame Penn State game, I assume Notre Dame's gonna make the playoffs this year. Their schedule gets very easy at this point.
yeah, they
No,
get to play Florida State.
Right.
Jesus.
And so it gets
God, I like Florida State. I'm glad you have a bye week coming up, and then you do have to play Memphis, who would probably be a little bit upset because their former coach is now your head coach.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, good.
I mean, I don't know. You see how Florida
People-
State's doing right now?
people have somehow memory hold this.
Hmm?
I think it's just the institutional memory of this sport sometimes gets about 4 years. But people forget that the reason Norvell got the Florida State job because he had fun Memphis. That was
Yeah, he
Memphis
did.
was just like tons of fun.
Yep.
And they haven't been fun in a while. In fact, last year I believe they came in of all the FBS teams, I think they got the lowest number of votes in our Sickos poll just because they were the most just no one remembered them.
They were
is
they like
the
they do
worst.
consistently
They
still
were
win
good
though.
though.
But
Yeah,
what
they
I'm
still
saying
win.
is though, what I'm saying, they're okay. And the problem is they play boring football right now, or they had been.
I disagree
I
with
mean,
the
it's
poll
been
on that.
working. It's been working. They've won a
Well,
lot of
no.
football games recently.
I mean, from a Sickos perspective, that makes sense. They're winning a lot of games, and they're not doing it in a way that is unconventionally appealing. So, of course, we're not really paying attention to them. They're just out there like doing the work.
Yeah, I just want to go back since we brought up the schedule. Because I was thinking about Florida State, right? And I was thinking about with Florida State, it's like, okay, well, we've got this 12-team playoff, right? Got to keep reminding people that there's 12 teams making the playoff. And so Florida State, they're not going to get in that large at this point, but like they can win their conference. But then wait, like they're 0-2 and they've started off with 2 conference games. Florida State plays their final 3 games are non-conference. So they have this Memphis game and then everything else until mid-November is ACC play.
Yeah, they have their last 3 games are at Notre Dame,
Yes.
home against Charleston Southern, and then home against Florida. Which
Yeah,
y'all
circle that one.
Stinky, so stinky.
Circle that one. But no, so I was just looking at their schedule, right? And on the one hand, you say, okay, like, yes, they need to win their conference now, probably, but they're also 0-2 in that conference. However, the good news for them is they do have games. They have at SMU, home against Clemson, at Miami, home against UNC. Those are teams theoretically where like they could win that game and help themselves in the standings by kind of helping their way into the conference championship game. Right. I mean, they probably have to be like 6-2, right? So they have to win all of those games. And that's the flip side is it's like, oh, there could be some teams that are still really good on the schedule for them. I don't know that necessarily a lot of those teams outside of Miami looked great in week one, but um I don't know. It's just a weird place to be constantly trying to remind yourself and do math about, this 12-team playoff because we haven't seen it before. It's
Hey Beth.
exciting.
Hey Beth, how are you?
Swell.
Yay, you're a little spicy.
How about now?
A little too unspicy. Can you give me
Now you're too mild.
give me a middle?
And now?
Yes.
Better.
Great. So folks, we have a bunch of games this week to talk about. We're going to talk about this in terms like we usually do of how we're trying to figure out our Sickos games of the week as well. Because we have a couple on here that are very like jumping off the page at us. And I think the first one we want to talk about is a Friday night game. Our Friday night cap is Duke at Northwestern on FS1. Commish, sell me on this game.
All right. So we got Duke and Northwestern, two 1-0 teams, two, I guess, what you would call non-football powerhouses of their conferences. Two like private schools considered, I mean, some people have referred to them as nerd schools. You have a night game at the new stadium that is on the lakefront, Lake Michigan.
Do they have permanent lights there? Because old Ryan Field did not.
No. So I believe they have some sort of lighting because the soccer stadium had lighting.
Okay,
that was out there.
So all of a sudden, this is already an upgrade from their old stadium because there's actual lights here.
They did not have to wheel in like those light things you would see at like fireworks stands.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say, so do you think they would schedule this game if they didn't have any lighting whatsoever?
No, I was asking if they had permanent lights.
Okay.
I do like the idea of we are scheduling this game for 8 p.m. We do not have lights. We are going to dip the football in glow in the dark paint. Have fun.
Everyone get your cars out. I have marched. I've done marching practices where everyone just turns on their headlights and you march. So you know what? This can work, folks.
I finished baseball practice like that sometimes too. Yeah.
Like the very spicy bridge construction lights.
Ooh.
On that note, I forgot to mention this when you asked me how I was. It is the most wonderful time of the year. And by that, I mean, it is cool enough to have my windows open and I can hear the high school marching band practicing.
Oh, yeah. And you sent me a video, I believe, of the Pitt band playing.
They played Hot to Go. They play Hot to Go now.
That's great. This one also, can we do a weather check for Duke at Northwestern Friday night?
Already done the weather check.
What's the weather check, Nish?
So the weather check that I've done on this one. So it's Friday night. The high that day on Friday is 69. So it's
that's
very
great.
Nice. That's right.
Nice. Football weather.
But it is cloudy with a few showers, and the winds off Lake Michigan, from 15 to 25 miles an hour. At the nighttime of the game, showers in the evening, 51 degrees. Lower winds from 10 to 20 miles an hour, steady winds at about 17 miles an hour, chance of rain over 50%, and the moon is a waxing crescent. I don't know what that means. But
I realized I just said football weather, like it was a good, like I would do that. I'm trying to think of weather where I wouldn't be like, well, that's football weather. I feel like I say that about every kind of weather.
I mean, I think the Commish standard weather is not really football weather.
I mean, in Texas, arguably it is. Like that's 100 degrees on the field, 140 on turf. That's
it's just like it's August and you got 2 days and it's 110 outside. That's football weather. But like, again, that's a different definition anywhere you go. But football weather is there's ideally the ideal, I think, football weather is, I would probably say from like 70 to 50, and then you got a cool little nip in the air, or if you want to even go further, if you want snow, if you want, I mean, it depends on what your ideal definition of football weather is. But this is kind of okay. We're gonna possibly get some rain. We're gonna get some winds. We got these two schools on a night game by themselves on a Friday night at this temporary stadium.
There is another game earlier, the BYU SMU game. Oh, by the way, hey, someone tell me, is BYU SMU a conference game? Yes or no?
It was in 1996.
No.
Had to think about that though for a bit, didn't you?
I did.
Uh-huh.
Because it feels like SMU should be in the Big 12, but they're not.
It feels like BYU and SMU should be in the same conference, and they were at some point, yes, but no longer. So that game could bleed over a little bit, but no, this is going to be by itself. Like, this is how we're going to sleep, folks.
Yeah, this is our night on Friday. Yes. Now, also on top of this, Duke only scored 26 points against Elon.
Oh yeah.
And Northwestern won a game 13-6 against Miami of Ohio.
This is going to be spicy.
You know, two teams that really don't have much offense in this weird setting, in this weird stadium. You know,
two teams
on the banks of Lake Michigan. Two teams that have gotten together before the past few years that have played some wild games.
Two teams both alike in dignity in fair Evanston will relay our scene.
I mean, I just want to give a shout out to the Solid Verbal folks. They're going to be at this game in person.
Oh yeah, they are.
Yeah, so I cannot wait
beautiful.
for live reporting of this.
So we go down our list here that we're going to jump around the schedule a little bit because this is the list we've been working off of for our game of the week, perhaps. Can we talk about Texas Tech and Wazzu? Ooh. This is a 9 p.m. kick on Saturday on Fox proper.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So there's some chance to show some whole ass out there. Texas Tech, if you remember, squeaked away with a win over Abilene Christian in overtime, 52-51.
Yeah.
And Wazzu did handle Portland State reasonably well.
I mean, it was 70-30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is going to be in Pullman, which weird things happen there.
Mm-hmm.
This one I like a lot. This is a good helmet game for me.
Yeah, this is also going to either be incredibly pointsy or Wazzu just smacking Texas Tech with an extremely blunt instrument, and either one of those is entertaining.
I don't think Texas Tech has a defense, which, not surprising. Someone described who's Texas Tech's coach right now?
Not Cliff Kingsbury.
No, someone described Joe McGuire as Cliff Kingsbury with better PR, which sure. That's
apparently he's the defensive coach too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's supposed to be.
I think Texas Tech might just suck all the defense out of you. There's something in the water in Lubbock. There's no defense.
It just dries
there.
up. All your defense dries up out there in Lubbock.
They couldn't stop a tortilla.
The weather in Pullman on Saturday. Do you want to know what this weather's like?
Is it raining ice shards? God, please tell me yes.
96 is the high.
Oh no!
But at night the low is 62. That's a big dip. Not too windy, so it'd probably be ideal at dark.
Wonder if that's gonna be weathergami? Ooh, I don't know.
Is that I know there are body clock games. Is there a weather version of body clock?
Yeah, it's called getting cramps in the South when you come from up north.
I mean, what Boston College was doing last night,
they were
the end of the third quarter, man. They were dropping like flies with cramps. I mean, Bill O'Brien was sweating through that polo.
Gotta get him.
I don't blame him.
Get an athletic polo, my friend. You gotta get a polo.
For God's sakes. But no, the weather body clock game. Go back to week 0. Go back to SMU leaving Dallas.
Oh, that's right.
At 100 and going to Reno to play at 42. Just get off the plane.
Some altitude, yeah.
Yeah, that'll mess you up.
All good choices so far. Another one we come up with. This is Cal at Auburn at 2:30 on ESPN2. Pitt Girl, Pitt Girl, tell me what your vibes about this one are.
This one was pretty dumb last year,
right?
If I recall correctly, and I see no reason to believe that it won't also be dumb this year. Auburn Also, hopefully Oski is going and we can like watch him drink through his eye and Jordan Hare. I think we all deserve that.
Did you all see what Syracuse is now doing for turnovers? They're taking
Uh,
shots of orange juice.
That's right.
And someone posited that might be Otto.
Hmm?
And then
This is my body given for you.
drink of me. Now, if does Cal play Syracuse this year? A game,
Yes.
a game
Yeah,
that
they do.
a conference game once again.
Mm-hmm.
I know Pitt plays Cal this
I
year.
think
Please hold.
Syracuse goes
It's
out
a
to
Cal.
Cal.
If that
Like
happens,
November.
and Cal wins, I will make a graphic of Oski drinking Otto with a straw through his eye.
That is November. 16th.
Yes. Yep. Syracuse at Cal, November 16th. Time TBD.
That's good. That prime time.
What if that's a night game?
God, I hope-
What if that kicks off at like 9 Eastern?
It better. Like, just, I mean, do it.
Oh, I mean, it's got a chance to be a nightcap because
It does.
that's a West Coast kick. It's got a chance.
Yep.
See, I think more teams should have like I don't know what it is because I've brought this up before. Like when we talked about I'm gonna pronounce it wrong. I'm gonna just say it like I would say it, the boil game where they like actually like have food. Like I want to see more things where the players get something to eat, get something to drink, something like that. You know what I mean? Like. Like it doesn't even need to be that fancy. Like
You
there
really
could
make
be
a
a
really
team
good
that-
youth sports coach.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, there could be a team that's just like, yeah, like we got turnover crackers or something, and they just have a dry ass cracker, but it's like hype because they got a turnover. Like, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I really like this.
Who was eating Skittles after they? Was it Marshawn Lynch eating Skittles after running,
Yes,
or was it?
it was.
Yeah, okay. That's
Marshawn
another
Lynch.
Marshawn Lynch reference. This is the Marshawn Lynch podcast right now, apparently.
Should give him pickle juice shots stuff with the cramps.
See, Arthur said dry cracker, and I'm just out here like, okay, who's doing turnover communion?
Notre
Notre
Dame.
Dame.
Yeah.
Boston
It's
College.
the turnover entire sleeve of saltines.
Oh, it's so dry. It's so
Boston College
dry.
wouldn't do saltines. They would be doing those oyster crackers.
Can you transubstantiate oyster crackers? Of course you can, right?
You can
course.
you can transubstantiate anything if you believe enough.
That's right.
It's
Hey,
just
unless you've been in a church that has had communion banana bread, you can't talk.
it's just like Peter Pan. If you just believe enough, it can be anything. I believe that this Pop-Tart could be a communion wafer. I mean that's not too far out there.
I mean, no, not really.
Yeah, there was an apocryphal story in the church that I grew up in that the lady who used to make communion bread, which went off the rails at a certain point, had to be stopped before communion rum cake came into being.
Communion fruitcake, actually, I'm now considering this.
Well, so communion rum cake is very, very close to what if we just like we got the bread and the wine in one package, right?
I mean, that's what priests do, right?
Efficiency.
Priests sop up like the little bit of wine left in the cup because you can't just get rid of it.
That's
Except
You
this
top
was a
it up.
Methodist church.
Okay, so they're okay. Never mind then.
Yeah, that'll do it.
So it wasn't actually the blood of Christ. It was fake. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. This is the blood of Welch's.
So we have so far Duke Northwestern, Texas Tech at Washington State, and Cal at Auburn. Another option we have is El Assico. Iowa. It is week 2. It is on CBS proper.
Yes, it is the mid-afternoon. Kirk Ferentz in the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Back from his 1-game suspension.
Free Kirk.
Triumphant return.
Yes.
Da, 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 da.
Matt Campbell in the Iowa State Cyclone.
Matt Campbell in his 40th year in Ames.
Da, 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 da.
Gary Danielson losing his mind.
Oh, fuck me. That's going to be so good. On got 2:30 on CBS. It's
Yes.
going up against Baylor, like at the same time, Baylor, Utah, Northern Illinois at Notre Dame, and South Carolina at Kentucky are the major like broadcast network games. It might be the best one of those 4.
Yeah, I just love the fact that this is the first year that the CBS no longer has the SEC, and like their first showcase game is Iowa State at Iowa.
Nailed it. Fucking nailed it, guys.
Love it.
Congrats.
Da 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 da.
They thought they were getting El Clasico. Oh no, they're getting
This,
El Assico.
folks, if you're new to college football, this is one of those games that gets weird all the time. This game can be 4-2. This game can just be whatever you want it to be because it's one of those rivalry games that gets played early in the season.
Yeah.
Before anyone really knows what they're doing. And so it's not like this. These two teams have been honed all season long. Nah, these are two teams just flailing, trying to figure shit out early in the season.
Typically, what happens is both of these teams played an FCS game the week before to tune up for this game. And what happened this year? Both of these teams played an FCS team the week before to tune up for this game. Both teams won rather handily. And, you know, you kind of never really know how this one is going to go. But normally something really unfortunate befalls the loser. A
This
lot
was
of
the
the
fair
times.
catch. This was the
Yeah.
fair catch last year.
This was the one where, like, you know, the person was blocked into the punt or something like that, and the guy that's trying to catch the punt, and then they lose the fumble and lose the game. There's so many different endings, but most of the time, I think the series history has like it's about 2-1 Iowa over
It
Iowa
is, it
State.
is about 2-1. Yes.
Yeah, so don't quote me on the
47-23.
47-23. Yeah, so it's about 2-1. It's in Kinnick. But I mean, this one's almost like Sickos Game of the Week emeritus.
Right. Like I
this
can't put it up top because this is just
it's just like it feels that it's been like Sickos Game of the Week so much, so long. For it feels like there's, you know, like you're tired of voting LeBron MVP. You got like Sickos Game of the Week fatigue for this one. So it's always there. It's always worthy of the game of the week. It's
the last 2 decades, I'd like to mention these two back-to-back scores. In
Okay.
2011, Iowa State wins 44-41 in 3 overtimes. In 2012, Iowa State wins 9-6.
Yep.
Yeah.
In 2017, Iowa wins 44-41 in overtime. In 2018, Iowa wins 13-3.
Yep.
You don't.
I have the feeling that this year is going to be a pointsy edition,
okay.
which I look forward to.
Yeah, I mean, we're due for one.
I mean, Iowa had a damn point explosion this week.
What did they use all their
There's so
points
many.
last game, and they don't have any left for this game?
It's possible.
I can't predict anything in this game. I've seen the over under at 35 here, which again, you know, that's kind of like that's a 21-14. It's like 35.5, so 21-14 is I guess what they're aiming for here. But I can. You tell me to predict something about this game. I can't do it. I can't.
Something weird's gonna happen. That's the only prediction I have.
The game is gonna take place, and we're gonna watch the whole thing, and we're gonna love every minute of it.
It is sponsored, I believe, by Iowa Corn.
I mean,
the Iowa Corn Growers
Who else
Association.
would it be sponsored by?
Us.
I mean, that is true. Also on our list of games, this one, number 5 that we have in our current temporary list, is one that might be my choice. This is Mississippi State at Arizona State at 9:30 p.m. on ESPN. I've often argued on this show for this kind of game. I love the 9:30 Arizona State non-conference kick.
In the beginning of the year, yeah, it's so great.
It is. What's the weather?
Okay, Saturday, the high 107.
Yep.
The low 85.
Oh, it's gonna be so hot. It's gonna be so gross.
So it says it's gonna be mostly sunny. Winds east, southeast at 10 to 20 miles an hour.
Okay. It's not quite haboob weather, but we're getting there.
Yeah,
I mean, that wind could help with the heat, like just how you feel it, right?
Yeah, true.
No, just blowing hot air and sand at you. There's no, it's not, it doesn't feel good. It just feels miserable and miserable.
I mean, you get used to it though, right? Like, what was that? I just saw the headline, like Phoenix just had their 100th straight day above 100. Like, at some point you just like evolve, right? Like evolution.
One of my favorite King of the Hill jokes, maybe
Arthur, maybe.
One of my favorite King of the Hill jokes is when Bobby and Peggy and Hank all go to Phoenix to visit, I think, Hank's mom who moved out there.
Yeah.
Bobby goes, 111 degrees. Phoenix can't possibly really be that hot, can it? Oh my God, it's like standing on the surface of the sun. And Peggy goes, the city should not exist. It is a monument to man's arrogance.
That's right.
She's not
But
wrong.
we grow fucking almonds in California in the desert, so who cares? I know.
This is not creating any other problems.
Hey, Beth,
moving
hey, Beth,
on.
you should know this. Someone suggested pumping Great Lakes water to help get Arizona, help Arizona out.
Google continental divides and just spend a little bit of time thinking about the broader implications of that.
It's fine. Hey, you just pump water. It's how hard can that be?
We do love like ridiculous maps, but I mean, what would you call this pipeline?
Oh God, I would call it the War of Southern Aggression, if you ask me, but that's just me.
The War of Southwestern Aggression.
This will not stand.
I don't know. The only pipelines we got to talk about are college football recruiting or something. I don't know.
That's what we do.
College football.
Yeah.
Hey, so Pitt Girl, can you sell me on Pittsburgh at Cincinnati?
You know what? I can sell you on Pitt Cincinnati.
Ooh.
In addition to our ongoing quest to figure out where the fuck the Paddle Wheel Trophy got to,
Is it still gone?
it's still gone.
Okay.
No, nobody knows where it is. I would like to know where it is, though. If listener, if you know where the Paddle Wheel Trophy is, DM us so we can go on a quest together. I would like that. But in addition to that, friend of the show, Bill Connolly, maker of S&P Plus, has this game with a projected 0.7 point win margin and a 52% victory probability for Cincinnati, which means
really,
yeah. But again, this is basically a coin flip.
Yeah. Hold up. Do I not have a coin flip sound? Okay. Then we're gonna go with.
All of that to say, the data doesn't know what this game is going to be. I don't either. Odds are high that it's going to be real stupid. So tune in at noon Eastern on Saturday to find out exactly how stupid it is.
That is 11 a.m. on ESPN2 for you Central Time folks. Still on our list as well. I'm going to list a couple of these off and see how we feel about it. Army at FAU, BYU at SMU on Friday night, and East Carolina at Old Dominion. Now, I'm going to tip my hand on one of these. I ran our preliminary Detmer numbers. If y'all don't know, Detmer is our proprietary metric about slinging things. Let me get the exact, what we actually called it, why we called it Detmer.
It is an acronym.
It is an acronym.
We're good at those.
We're calling it, let's see here. Wait, there's a paywall behind this? Never mind. No, I got the wrong one. Downfield eventful throwing metric encouraging ripping it. That's what we called our Detmer. We're really good at this. And East Carolina's quarterback, Jake Garcia, last week had 308 yards. He went 23 for 36 with 4 TDs and 3 interceptions. He's doing some fucking numbers, and I'm very excited about that. Also, Old Dominion's QB Grant Wilson, 197 yards, 22 pass completions on 38 attempts, 1 TD, 2 interceptions. He's also on this list.
Okay.
So there's a good chance that this might be 2 Detmer darlings going against each other.
I mean, this game is also like a little bit of a like quasi helmet game for me in that it just sounds like it's going to be a banger, and I trust in the name value for this personally.
This game is only going to be available on ESPN Plus as well, which, you know,
God damn it.
Right? This feels like we are shorting this entirely. This needs to be on a big channel somewhere. Question for you. Is East Carolina Old Dominion a conference game, yes or no?
No.
Correct. That is a American versus Sun Belt game.
Yeah, ECU is in the Fun Belt, correct?
No, incorrect.
No, I got that backwards. God damn it.
ECU's an American. That's right. The Pirates are American.
One thing I'll say is that doing like the custom conferences in EA Sports College Football 25 makes this question even harder. Like I'd never learned the conferences in the first place, and then I went and messed with them. And the conferences that I have been grinding with.
Yeah.
Like, I've spent more time with those conferences than I have with the ones in real life.
This is my problem playing like Crusader Kings and forgetting real history. Like, oh, you
Mhm.
remember when the Vikings converted to Sunni Islam and moved the caliphate to Stockholm? I remember that. Wait, that didn't happen? Yeah, it really fucks up your sense of history. I also skipped over Colorado at Nebraska, which is a game that's going to give lots of people weird tummy feelings, I'm afraid.
Mhm.
I love Matt Rule today. Like
what do you do?
his comments, like basically he like praised Colorado, but he didn't say Colorado's name. So
Okay.
I really enjoyed that.
That team out west.
No, he didn't say it like that. Let me see if I can find the quote. I think Amy just maybe share that. She's
probably
the
her who has it.
Nebraska reporter. She's the Huskers columnist. So let me see here what he said. Trying to find it. Apologize for the delay.
They won't know there's any delay.
There was a lot of Nebraska volleyball tonight, so.
I did get criticism, by the way. I pointed out that Minnesota was the only Big Ten team to have a loss right now. But they mentioned that their volleyball team beat number 1 Texas, so we should probably cut them some slack. And okay, deal.
Fair enough. Shout out to Pitt Volleyball while we're talking about volleyball. Number 3, Pitt Volleyball. Let's fucking go.
Hey, Beth, do you see who the number 1 men's soccer team was in the country?
No, maybe WVU.
Well,
We're very good right now.
Well,
according-
it was, but it was Western Virginia.
Yes, that's what the
What?
NCAA soccer account tweeted.
Yeah, they
Oh
deleted
my
it. They
God.
scrubbed it. If you look back in our group text,
Yeah, you should
you
scroll
need to
up.
scroll just a little bit there, and we'll come back to you on that because it's there.
Yeah, it's there. Enjoy that.
God fucking damn it.
Commish deleted this tweet, but I will read it though because it's very, very good. Commish tweeted, "Take me home, country drives to a place where I'm associated with Western Virginia." That was real
All
good.
right.
No, I didn't say take me home. I said take me house.
Take me house. Sorry, my bad.
Take me
Even
house.
better.
Country drive to the place I'm associated with.
Western Virginia sounds
Western
Virginia sounds like a D2 team that we're finding out about. Like, man, they've been called something like really racist towards like Italians for a long time. Their mascot was like bizarre. I don't know how they got away with that for so long. It's the fighting pinching hands, and the mascot's just one of
Yeah,
these.
they got a hand signal. It's just this.
Honestly, that would go hard. Like in the stands, the whole crowd doing
No
that.
problem.
Like that would be like that would be a cool environment. I feel like, but I want to say
Rutgers. Have you considered
Yes.
Yeah.
this?
Oh my
my
God,
God.
Rutgers,
The
please.
Rutgers 2-pinch salute.
I was just gonna say like a school named Western Virginia just sounds like it fits into that video. I forget where it's from of the guy talking about how Country Roads is about like the western part of the state of Virginia, not the state of West Virginia.
Yeah.
True fact.
There's
It is about
there's a
Western
Virginia
Virginia.
Western Community College,
Okay.
so we're gonna claim them. So, folks, let's see here. Let me get back.
I
to
like the notion that anyone would be stupid enough to write a song about I-81.
Honestly, I feel like I could. It would mainly like it wouldn't be like
That's a
happy
bad song.
No, I think it could be a good song, right? Like you could have like a good song that's just like really contemplative, and you know, you just. I feel like you could make it work.
Fucking tractor trailer won't pass the other tractor trailer.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm saying, I feel like there's a lot of songs that are like contemplative and like you know what's going wrong in life.
I've got a fast
Stuck
car.
behind a tractor
I was
trailer.
like, I've got a fast car, but I can't pass the tractor trailer. Or it's like I can't drive 55 because I'm stuck behind a tractor trailer.
81 is entirely truck traffic. This is extremely accurate.
Other ones that sort of in this mid-table we're looking at: Army at
mid-table.
FAU, Troy at Memphis, and then Kansas State at Tulane.
I think that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, that one
be fun.
interests me. This is Tulane under new management, if you remember correctly.
That's right.
And this is also Kansas State coming off a pretty good. They went to the Big 12 championship last year? No, that was 2 years ago.
That was 2 years ago.
Okay. But Kansas State being Kansas State, like they just want to bludgeon someone to death with their team. And
Yeah.
and going to New Orleans is not the worst trip. Like
No, it's not.
there are way worse things you can do being 21 than go to New Orleans.
My God, this color matchup is going to be phenomenal.
Oh, I didn't even consider that.
The purple, and
Yeah.
if Tulane goes with green or the blue.
Wear the blue, Tulane.
Oh my God,
Do it.
it's gonna be so good. Like, I mean, it's gonna be a great color matchup. I hope K-State gets some purple in there because they need it. And then Tulane can have some green on the angry wave, and but this is gonna be kind of fun. It's gonna be a big test for Coach John Sumrall, who is a follower of the committee, which is nice because we enjoyed his Mardi Gras tweets where he just said Mardi Gras like 5 6 different times. Because he was having a blast. Like he left Troy, Alabama, and he was just enjoying Mardi Gras so much. He started to follow us. It was great. I love it.
Do you know where Tulane is going after they play Kansas State?
Oklahoma.
They're going to Oklahoma.
Yep.
Oh.
They have a rough schedule, and if there's been scenarios like if they win every game but K-State and Oklahoma, do they make the playoff? And then it's just like, I'm like, let's see how they do against these two, because if they're not close, probably not. But if they still win the American, who knows? I have no idea what's gonna happen. But
I got an easy game for you to like, Commish. Tulane at the Raging Cajuns.
I mean, it's, you know who I'm pulling for.
Oh,
there.
that's you can't even fathom.
That is the beer brawl, the beer fight that started over the summer on the prices of the beers. So, like one was $2, one was $3. Yeah, it was just like, oh, Natty Light's not real beer. It was great. So, yeah, Tulane, I want to see, they had a little bit of a warm-up game against Southeastern Louisiana, Southeastern Louisiana, like, turned the ball over a good bit and put, like, Tulane in advantageous positions. I don't think K-State's going to do that because K-State's a really good team. So, both of these pretty good. This is going to be like a fascinating game to watch. Not necessarily like top Sickos game of the week, but probably in the 10-20 range, maybe 25-ish.
This is one that I would consider to be sneaky good for people that are not like big college football heads. To explain, like, by the way, this is on 11 a.m. at ESPN, so like they know what they're doing here.
Yeah,
but this
like
feels
if you.
I would tell
if you don't want to watch Texas and Michigan, watch this one. Or watch G-Tech at Syracuse, because I am fascinated. Oh my God. Also Arkansas at Oklahoma State in the same window. You're going to have to drop 4 on the screen here. So,
I will point out, by the way, also at that same time, I glossed over Army at FAU, but this begins the order of the Owls for Army. They have 3 straight games against Owls.
I misspelled Owls.
A hootenanny.
It's a hootenanny. So they play FAU, then they have a bye, and then they play the other 2 Owl teams in back-to-back weeks. Temple, the American Owls. They don't play Kennesaw State this year.
The American Owls.
The American Owls.
Hard-working American Owls, not ones that come over across the border to take our jobs.
Stop it.
I mean, I was gonna say American Owls sounds like a band or something.
This is my pivot. This is my pivot to right-wing grifting, guys.
It's the knockoff.
There's
store
a lot of money in that.
It's the knockoff store in the mall. You could go to American Eagle, but no, I got my place in American Owl.
American Owl is their nightwear.
It's right next door. It's just like, oh, where'd you shop at? I went to AO.
What?
Where you get your cap and your little candle thing and your pajamas with the butt flap.
What is
American
Owl? What is Aerie then? Is Aerie like their kids brand?
No, Aerie is the bra line.
Is that the bra line? Okay.
Yeah, Aerie's for the ladies.
Aerie's for the ladies.
I learn new things every day.
For the owlettes.
They make pretty good affordable bras, just by the way.
When we get all the women on here and y'all do an episode without the men, you can go into bras and why are men, which
I mean, I'm happy to do both of those things with you guys here. It's fine.
Oh yeah, nothing is stopping us.
That is true.
Yeah, why are men is
Yeah, that's
Eternal.
a big question.
Yeah.
Yeah, eternal. Why our man? Yes.
Let's do an ad read before we keep going. As always, folks, we are on the Varsity Network, which means we are part of the Varsity app, which is a free download on the Apple App Store and the Google App Store. The Varsity app gives you access to basically every audio feed on Saturdays for all the games, almost every game, and including the College Football Blitz, which is college football red zone radio, which is the best way to listen to college football games when you're out and about. If you have friends that do not keep the Sabbath holy like you do, then Seventh Day Adventists keep Saturday holy. I guess Jews do too. Yeah,
No, you're not wrong. I just hadn't thought about it that way.
yeah. Some people want to go out and do things on Saturdays, and the College Football Blitz is the best way to go. That means you can listen to all the games you want to listen to, all the radio calls, which are always more fun because radio homerism is like the best thing ever. Who needs a impartial broadcast crew when you can hear someone complain about every call?
Also, you get all the regional ads. You can listen to every Iowa corn ad on the face of the earth if you listen to the Iowa State game this week.
No, it's great knowing, if I ever host an event in Tallahassee, like I know who the number one event supply company is.
Mhm.
That might come in handy someday.
Of course, we're on there as well as other podcasts, including the Solid Verbal, who we're now claiming to be peers with. I'm going to start saying that our peer podcast
boy.
group, the Solid Verbal.
And here's something else too, which I took advantage of yesterday because I told y'all I did not actually watch the game, but I finished editing up the podcast, got it posted, and then I went to the Varsity app. I tuned into the FSU post game, so it's not
Good
just
call.
during the game. Like you want to hear the pregame show,
Oh my God.
especially like
You
you
hear the
want
call-in
to
show,
tune
Al?
into that
Oh my
that
God.
that post game show. It's going to vary from school to school, but they have that pregame and postgame, basically everything that is part of that game day broadcast. Like you can get it
It's
right there.
it's so great too because I mean it's free to download. Everything is like free on here. I mean you can name almost any team and that's associated with Learfield. I mean, there's like a Mustang insider for Cal Poly, a
Mhm.
North Carolina podcast, App State podcast, the Mean Green podcast, Behind the Badgers, the Orange podcast.
Don't want to be behind the Badgers. That sounds like a bad place to be.
I mean, true, definitely. Behind what's this Behind the Badgers? The Panther point of view for the University of Northern Iowa and the Unidome. Just an incredible. The funny part to me is that we're right next to the Solid Verbal in this app,
Yeah.
which it makes no sense.
Our peer podcast.
Totally. And then right above that, I mean, right below that, there's Oklahoma, the podcast, the Sooner Sports, and then you have University of South Dakota, the Coyotes,
Oh yeah.
which they have everything. It's free. Enjoy it. Download
Yeah.
it.
Enjoy it.
Yeah.
As always, check out our link tree on Twitter and Instagram and Blue Sky for various discounts for things we like. Join our Patreon for $5 a month. You get access to our Discord. We get to talk about our weekly rankings debates, our live chats during the games. You get to see the inner working on game days. Get to jump in our research if you'd like. Talk with ideas about it. You also get access to things behind our paywall, including Commish's Corner, Yes, Rah, 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 Yes, the Prairie View Chronicles, and a couple other podcasts we have going on behind the scenes. We're going to start getting those cranked back up as well.
I did just do one,
Yep.
Commission's Corner. So.
I'll edit it and see if I can get out this Friday.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too long. I'm doing a series on defunct bowl games, and the first one I started with was the Cajun Bowl.
Good call.
Cajun.
On our merch store at sickoscommittee.org with tons of new items, including can-shaped glasses, foam trucker hats, and more. Go to YouTube. We're on there, Instagram, Twitch, and our Substack, where we're doing our weekly Sickos Stats Summary and weekly Sickos Awards, which have been great. Commish, this has been just a brilliant idea.
I was able to like drive down data to get like the most ridiculous stats that I could think of.
Mhm.
Like the longest scoring drive of the week. Shout out to North Dakota for that. 23 plays, 88 yards, 12 minutes and 24 seconds for a field goal. Shout out to Western Kentucky, which I kind of hesitated on doing that one, but it's just like they didn't settle for the sad field goal, so I felt pretty good on that one. But they had the longest non-scoring drive, which was 21 plays, 71 yards, and turnover on downs. which it's fun stuff like that. If you have any weird stat idea that I could do a data search for, I would love to throw it in there. We put them on the Substack, and then I'll make graphics for them and post them on the Twitter and Instagram and Blue Sky.
Pitt Girl, I'll teach you how to use R for this.
Oh, yes. Things I'm learning how to do right now.
Yar.
Use R for legitimate data purposes, but also for bad data science purposes.
Perfect.
Shout out to Message Board Geniuses podcast. They go to places we refuse to go, like 247 Knowles, which was having a meltdown in real time. I actually went into some of those places just to see what it looked like last night. It was a bad choice.
No, I look. I'm gonna leave Florida State alone for a little bit. They
Let
got a
them
bye
do
week.
wounds.
They got a
Okay,
bye week.
You're right.
I'm gonna let them go for the bye week. I'm done. Like, everybody started piling on them, and then once everybody starts doing it, it's like, okay, that's the mainstream thing to do. And I'm like, we're gonna do the opposite.
I just want to say this before we get off the Florida State dog pile. And that is that, do you guys know who they open with in 2025?
I do.
Yep.
Beth, you know?
Beth, would you like to guess? Beth does not want to guess. Folks, Florida State opens with Alabama next year.
In Tuscaloosa. Yeah.
Yikes.
Oh.
Yikes. That reminds me to say happy birthday, Katie.
Oh, yes.
We love you, Katie.
Today is her birthday, and also happy birthday to my mom. So shout out to my mom too. So. I'm sure she's listening to this. Yeah, right. Never.
And lastly, Sickos and Home Field Apparel, one of our favorite partners. Use offer code yes, ha ha ha, yes, 3 ha's for 15% off your first order. I see a UTEP shirt. I see a NAU shirt, not North American University.
Not the team we didn't talk about last podcast because the Fight Okra, Jordan has got that one.
I've got Delta.
Yeah, North American University. They didn't start playing football until the COVID year.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Stephen F. Austin went up 70-0, and then in the first half, and then they agreed to 5-minute quarters in the second half, and it was a 77-0 final.
It was that one. Yeah, I still don't know. Like, I'll say this out loud. I still don't know how legitimate NAU is. I know we don't like to talk about like non-legitimate sports teams.
Say North American University, not
sorry,
NAU.
North American University. I don't know how close they are to not legitimate. They definitely ride that line, though. It's not a college of faith situation, but it's real close. It feels like. So this is one of those where I don't even know how much I want to talk about them in the long run. But yeah, this is
definitely.
The cool thing is that with Home Field Apparel as well, we have our Sickos Hat Showcase, which means you get 25% off select hats all season long. This week, we are highlighting Iowa and Iowa State, 2 amazing hats. I am not a hat person, but I am about ready to become one because these look so good. The script Iowa is classic and gorgeous, and then the little angry cyclone bird thing. Cardinal, what is it? I don't even call that bird. The Iowa State bird. You know what I'm talking about. What do you call the thing?
It's a cardinal.
Is it a cardinal?
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone's looking at me like I'm crazy.
Hey, Jordan.
Yeah.
Chip Kelly, offensive coordinator, Ohio State.
Look, seeing him in that Ohio State block O thing
in the booth,
so bizarre.
It was so
bizarre. What was the other thing today that you were like, remind Jordan that this is a thing? I remember what it was at this point. Anyways,
it was something that it's like, hey Jordan, you remember this? It's just, I think, let me see if I can find the tweet that because I just go, hey Jordan.
Oh yeah, and because I don't retain shit, and I'm totally fine with that.
It's fun. He's a goldfish.
For these hats, use offer code yes yes. That's 2 hats for 25% off selected hats. It's a great deal. Get your hat right now because you're gonna need it all season long. I was gonna ask this question on the Twitter timeline. I think I'm going to because Beth inspired me for this.
Oh no.
I wanted to find out what the piece of branded school wear that people have is like their most like weird, but I always wear this possession. Like I have like, someone has like a Hawaiian shirt print from Washington or something. Or
is this like about my leggings?
It's about your WVU leggings. Yes, it is.
Okay. So it's like your good luck team clothing thing, I guess.
Yeah, like that
your
one
superstitious team clothing thing.
or just like that one weird piece that you have. I feel like a lot of people have that one weird piece. It's like, oh, I have the normal baseball hat. I have all this stuff. But then also like I wear, my I don't know, my Iowa onesie to every game or something.
Is it?
I have a pair of Vegas gold and navy script Pitt socks that also have snowflakes on them.
Okay, yeah.
Which I purchased at Kenny Pickett's first start. And then because it was cold and I was at that game, that was the upset against Miami in 2017. And then I discovered during the 2021 season that I needed to keep wearing the socks or Pitt would lose.
Well, I don't have a big sample size on this, but every game I have worn the items from my home field apparel premium box. Pitt has won.
True.
I'm just saying the box is undefeated.
True.
One in a row.
Counts.
I mean, we got the short sleeve shirt, we got the long sleeve shirt. I haven't worn the hoodie or the long sleeve shirt yet because it hasn't been the weather.
Oh, I thought you'd worn all.
Find out.
I thought you'd worn all of them just in case.
No, I wore the hat, I wore the short sleeve shirt, I wore the socks. So that is 1-0.
Beth did tell me she found she has 2 pairs of those WVU leggings. So
Yes.
I'm excited to wear them to, help me fight the chafe and the sun. I hope you don't need that second pair ever again.
I should probably be good.
They're gonna be a little stretched. Just a little stretched.
You can get one leg on them.
Just
It's one leg. Maybe.
I haven't worn tights in so long. It's been so long since I've ever worn tights. No response. Just
I mean, it's just like there's not really a purpose for you to be wearing tights, man.
I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna start doing ballet again.
Again? Okay.
It's also a valid strategy in very cold parts of the Northeast because those are much warmer than you think they
Yeah.
are.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's the last time I've worn tights is when we had the Snowmageddon down here.
You count long underwear as tights. Yeah, I have definitely.
Well, it's not long underwear. I don't have long underwear. I have like actual tights
Okay.
that I put under like pants. I don't have any long. I don't like that weird textured underwear, thermal weird thing. I don't
What,
know.
like the waffle weave?
Yeah, the waffle weave. I don't like the waffle weave.
Long underwear does not have to be waffle weave. I have no waffle weave long underwear.
It seems like that's the only long underwear I can get down here. It's waffle weave.
That's such a
Awful
awful combination of sounds. That for some reason that combination is
Waffle weave.
waffle weave.
Waffle weave.
Awful weave.
It's
waffle weave.
Oh.
What happened to this podcast? Are we talking about?
No, that was. I believe it was.
This is still the home field.
It is. Okay, yes. I
Okay.
love this Iowa hat. I should get that. I have
You're out.
it.
You're out.
Home field make long underwear.
Home field make a waffle shirt.
Waffle joggers.
Have you ever covered a carpet stain with a rug, ignored a leaky faucet, pretended your half-painted living room is supposed to look like that? Well, you're not alone. We've all got unfinished home projects. But there's an easier way. Thumbtack is the app that makes it easier to care for your home. Pull out your phone and in just a few taps, search, chat, and book highly rated pros right in your neighborhood. Download Thumbtack and start caring for your home the easier way.
Okay, it's time to commit. 2024 is the year for prioritizing yourself. Begin your new smile journey with Byte, and you could start seeing results in just 2 to 3 weeks. Just order your at-home impression kit today for only $14.95 at Byte.com. Byte clear aligners are doctor-directed and delivered to your door. Treatment costs thousands less than braces. Plus, they offer financing options, accept eligible insurance, and you can pay with your HSA FSA. Get 80% off your impression kit when you use code WONDERY at Byte.com. That's BYTE.com. Start your confidence journey today with Byte.
So after we've covered like the big games for us, I'm going to let folks scroll down the list and start calling out games that they want to talk about a little bit. I think the first one I see here that I kind of want to say something. Go,
Can I
Commish.
just go in order and see if anything pops in everybody's head at this point. So,
dude, it's
I
going
just
to be.
go.
Oh, don't! it's so much talking.
No. I can go if you want to do it. We'll stop. Stop me if you want to talk about it. It's fine.
Okay.
Or just yell over me. So, we already talked about we had BYU at SMU on Friday, then Duke Northwestern we already talked about. Akron at Rutgers, which I feel like Rutgers better win that. Arkansas at Oklahoma State, which feels weird as hell. Very weird.
That's a weird non-con like.
Yeah. Bowling Green at Penn State. Interesting at 11 a.m.
Have fun on your ride to hell, Bowling Green.
Yeah, get that paycheck.
Bowling Green is, again, they force a lot of turnovers. They turn the ball over a lot. It'd be really stupid, but again, probably.
Wait, is Penn State playing 2 MAC teams this year?
I think so.
I believe
Same
so.
with Ohio State. We already talked about Georgia Tech at Syracuse. That should be fun. That's gonna be fun. I hate that they're burying this at 11 a.m. on a Saturday morning, which is
on the ACC network.
On the ACC
that feels
network.
right. No, that feels right.
No, this is exactly where this game belongs.
This game belongs at 9 p.m. on a Friday.
It does feel like that weird Friday night game.
It's on the right network, though.
Yeah, I would allow 9 p.m. ACC network. It's very important that this game have ads for like tax shades and Spurtles.
Definitely, it needs
and
all the
and that thing that covers the label in your medicine bottles.
Yes.
Yeah.
Done.
This time, like, we joke about those ads, but like this time of the year, every 4 years, man, like. What I would do to see an ad for something tactical, like I'm telling you.
Oh my god! Yeah.
You would.
Pro tip, guys: don't move to Pennsylvania.
No,
it's all political ads right now.
So that's why we need to do the get rid of the electoral college, and so everybody has to suffer through political ads, and not just us.
It's legitimately affected what games I watch. Because the games that are on network, right, like your ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox games, because they're through local affiliates, they have more of those ads. Like, so legitimately, I'm at the point now where, like, if I'm picking between games, I'm like, yep, I'm not watching something on network. Like,
it was really bad during the Olympics.
Yeah.
And now it's after Labor Day, which means that it's only going to get worse.
Well, may I suggest to you that you just get DirecTV like I have, and then you can't watch anything.
Woo! Perfect. Yay!
honestly, that's a good idea.
I'll watch ESPNU. Apparently Texas plays at Michigan. I don't know who those two teams are.
I know who those teams are.
Troy at Memphis. The Trojans are going to be walking to Memphis. We already talked about Baylor at Utah, which is a conference game that's not a conference game because it was scheduled before they joined the conferences, which I love that. Charlotte at North Carolina, which Biff Poggi put on sleeves.
Now that's an ACC network fucking game right there. That is ACC network.
That is ridiculous. Eastern Michigan at Washington on the Big Ten network.
Can I make an argument for this one? I don't know what Washington's going to be this year. I don't think anyone really knows. But Eastern Michigan has the chance to roll into fucking like loud ass Washington and just do a really funny thing. I don't need them to win. I just need them to make it miserable. And since Washington is a Big Ten team, heart of the Northwest in Seattle, Eastern Michigan traveling there feels like a correct. This is the classic.
Eastern Michigan playing Big Ten teams in Seattle, on the Big Ten network, which is great. We have Michigan State at Maryland, which just yes. No, I mean, like this one, like you hear these two teams and you're just like, well, it's September, Maryland. Yeah, but I feel like Michigan State has that weird, ugly defense after one game. I know it's just FAU, but like they're slowly starting to build that defense back where they will just drag you down in the mud and I want to see if they have enough to drag Maryland down in the mud. But
I need to see some proof of life from Michigan State before I start believing in them in age.
True.
I have yet to see a pulse here.
Offensive, yes. Defense, I think it's there. Northern Illinois at Notre Dame on NBC.
On God owns NBC. Northern Illinois. Congratulations,
NBC.
Congratulations, Mac.
I mean, NIU at Notre Dame on NBC. Then you have South Carolina at Kentucky, which is on ABC. So ABC's countering the Iowa State game with South Carolina at Kentucky.
That's a choice.
Yeah, it is a choice. Definitely counter programming.
So you got Kroger Field in South Carolina at Kentucky. South Carolina surviving that close game against ODU. shout out to the ODU's coach Ricky Rain, saying that he didn't want to hear the fans of South Carolina saying that they should shame the South Carolina players for losing a close game because they just beat a really good team. So it's kind of like a compliment for his team and a compliment for South Carolina. Then you have Temple at Navy on CBS SN. Temple, show me something, please.
That's a weird one.
Show me something. That's an American game, though.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's
American conference game. That's
Yeah,
right.
that's a conference game.
Then you have UMass at Toledo.
This feels like a helmet game for us.
The helmet game of the week for us? I think it's the next one.
Okay, UMass Toledo is real solid, but what's the next one?
So the next one at 3 p.m. UMass Toledo is good. If UMass could show, but I mean they struggled with Eastern Michigan. I don't know how much they could do against Toledo, but maybe they can get some run game going. The one that kind of feels like us, and it's probably just like Jordan and myself mostly. That's a helmet game. It's UTSA at Texas State. It is the Battle of I-35.
It's actually called the I-35 rivalry. I made that shit up.
It is no. It's the I-35 rivalry. I think we jokingly wanted them to have an HEB shopping cart.
Yes, that's right.
For the trophy at some point in time. But this one, it feels like both of these teams were looking ahead to this game.
Yeah.
Last week because they both played FCS teams rather closely. I'm sorry, Kennesaw State's not FCS. And Kennesaw State's not FCS. And they kind of looked ahead and they weren't as crisp as they should have been. And I feel like Bobcat Stadium is going to be packed to the gills for this game. And these two teams really hate each other. I remember going to the first Southwest Texas versus UTSA game in the Alamo Dome. And even though it wasn't filled, of course, because there's not going to be 70,000 people in there, there was a lot of hatred there. And it's San Marcos to San Antonio is within an hour, and there's a Buc-ee's halfway there.
Yes.
So I mean, they should just really call this the Buc-ee's Bowl.
Texas State has never won this game. They played 5 times because remember UTSA is a very new program.
Great.
Yeah.
But,
so very new.
UTSA has won this 5 times in a row, or in a row. I mean. 2012,
Overall,
2017, 2018, 2020, and then 2023.
Definitely. So then you have Middle Tennessee at Ole Miss. Ole Miss is probably going to have a lot of fun with Middle Tennessee, I think. And because Lane Kiffin's already trolling Brian Kelly on Twitter. But
hey, Beth, I need you to pick a team to win Marshall at Virginia Tech.
I don't want to.
Beth, I need you to pick a team that you want to win that game.
He's bullying me.
Is this the Meteor game for you? Is this the Meteor game? You're rooting for the
It's
Meteor?
darn close. It is
Okay.
darn close to a Meteor game.
What
for me.
would make this more of you rooting for a Meteor game? If Pitt was playing Marshall?
I mean, one would imagine that Penn State is a pretty meteor-y game for Beth. Meteor-y.
I dislike Virginia Tech far more strongly than I dislike Marshall. We don't talk about it all that much, but there's the fact that, Virginia Tech has beaten West Virginia in, I don't know, ever. So, and I have fond memories of going to Blacksburg and getting my team's head beaten in rather than just getting the window knocked off my car. Thanks, Marshall.
Is Marshall the we don't even think about you vibe for them?
Yeah. I mean, they've never beaten WVU, and most of the games have been true blowouts. So
Marshall is the Don Draper in the elevator.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. It is funnier to me if Marshall wins because the level of panic that will set off in Blacksburg will just be absolutely choice given how things have gone so far this year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm probably rooting for the Herd in this one. I mean, the only bone I ever throw to Marshall is that they do have the superior sandwich at Tudor's, but
yeah,
here we go.
I do like Marshall's green. I'll say that. It's nice. I won't like it when ULM plays them.
Oh, that's right. They do because they're in the Sun Belt. Another thing I always forget.
Yes, now they are.
Commish, are we going to watch the christening of Pitt Bull Stadium at 5:00?
Yes, it's the Chips Because all chips are down at Pitbull Stadium. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Where's all the
Pitbull better be there.
Dale.
Dolly, take that shit, Jim McElwain.
It may be a Pitbull associated artist. I guess we'll find out.
That's a long sound. Holy shit.
You've said that like 3 times.
Every
Like,
time.
you play.
Cool. Fine then.
Play the Goofy.
Okay.
Thank you. So
Keep going, Commish.
I love that one. We already talked about East Carolina and Old Dominion. That is like the spicy G5 like Sickos game of the week. That's probably going to be in like the top 10 of our rankings. Because ODU feisty, East Carolina, I feel like they're getting back on their feet this year because last year was a down year. And I mean, you know, as a Pirates fan, Pittsburgh Pirates, I got to root for the other Pirates, you know. And there's
Maybe some of them can win.
Maybe some of those Pirates can win. Shout out to Paul Skeens for beating the Cubs, thankfully. But you know, again, that's going to be a fun game. South Alabama at Ohio. I'm very intrigued by this MAC Sun Belt Challenge.
What interests you about this one?
Huh?
What intrigues you? Like,
okay,
sell me on the game.
It's a MAC versus Sun Belt game, and when you get MAC versus Sun Belt, I love when they play bowl games together, and it feels like this is kind of like you know, not necessarily like a bowl game in September, but it feels like where is the power in the conference? Like South Alabama has a shot, technically like an outside shot to win the MAC. Ohio has an outside shot to win. I'm sorry, South Alabama has the outside shot to win the Sun Belt.
I got you.
Ohio has this outside shot to win. You know, the MAC. I got it all backwards. So I think both of these teams played kind of different games. Like South Alabama couldn't stop anybody against North Texas. I'm worried about the defense, but they did put up 38. Ohio played, you know, Syracuse, and they gave up 38, which is kind of just like, I don't know. But I feel like this could be one of those weird Sun Belt MAC games that gets off the rails a little bit, and we see a lot of points. And I love comparing the two conferences on this level because I feel like the Sun Belt is like the junior SEC and the MAC is the junior Big Ten. So I really enjoy watching both of those.
So are you thinking whenever you look at this that like this is a good barometer for these teams? Or are you thinking that the fact that it might go off the rails makes it a bad barometer but potentially a fun game?
All of that. Like every single one you listed. Like all of that. Like just whatever reason you just listed, yes.
So this is just like an everything bagel of a game for you.
It is. That's right. I'm going to get some cream cheese. I am going to toast this bagel, and I'm going to do that. Arthur has something to say.
Yeah, so I got to circle back to something that was said way earlier in the show. So do you guys, I forget which one of y'all was complaining about Georgia Tech and Syracuse being a noon kickoff, right?
Oh, that's where I believe. Yes.
Okay.
I'm fine with
yeah.
noon.
But here's why. No, it had to be a noon kickoff. It had to. You know why? Because you had to get that game over with so the fans at the game can get to the Empower FCU amphitheater at Lakeview. Because that's where Pitbull is on Saturday night.
Okay.
So
okay.
If you are in Syracuse or really anywhere where you can get to Syracuse, you got to make a day of it. You got to do Georgia Tech at Syracuse in the early afternoon. Sweet. And then you got to get to the concert to see Pitbull with special guest T-Pain.
Oh.
So now we know that it has to be a Pitbull associated artist.
It's going to be a Pitbull associated performer at the christening of Pitbull. So thank you, Arthur, for that information. See, this is what you come to the Sickos Committee for.
I really want to believe from here on out that not only is every FIU game an FIU game, but every Pitbull concert is also an FIU game.
One just might break out. Yes.
Yeah.
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 I wonder if
I'm not sure how to score that yet, but I'm working on it.
What time does the Pitbull concert start?
I don't know. Let me click
Okay.
on tickets. It'll probably tell me if I click on tickets.
Okay. So the Central Michigan FIU game is it's 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central.
8:00 is when the
Okay.
Pitbull
Okay.
concert is.
So
So-
Pitbull doesn't go on until 10.
So Pitbull is not gonna go on until the game's over. Probably.
Just so we know, tickets to the Syracuse game will cost you about $20. Tickets to that Pitbull concert, $91.
I mean, worth it. I would
mean-
assume. I've never actually seen Pitbull in concert because, like I said, he always goes to Star Lake when he's here. By the way, he also. So I looked up FIU's schedule. So their next home game is against Monmouth on September 21st. On that day, Pitbull will be in Ridgedale, Missouri. I'm
Okay.
not sure which side of Missouri that is. Then looking at future FIU home games, they have one on September 28th against Louisiana Tech, but Pitbull will be in Auburn, Washington, which is a suburb of Seattle.
Well,
Okay.
yeah.
So you're gonna have to look very far into the future in terms of when Pitbull could actually attend an FAU football game. I believe so.
FIU.
October or FIU, sorry. I believe
we've confused so many names this podcast.
October 22nd, FIU hosts Sam Houston. That day, Pitbull doesn't have anything on his
Ooh,
calendar on the
okay.
tour's
All right.
schedule.
So look
So
look
he's looking for the
look
Bearcats.
towards the east. On the 5th day, Pitbull will
Okay.
come.
On the fifth-
Yeah,
Let's
so
please.
so it's like so it's $90-some to go see Pitbull
Yeah.
Mhm.
because I can get you into this FIU game for $9 American dollars.
Oh, okay. Well, so
Ooh.
I did find the cheapest tickets I can find for any game, by the way. We'll talk about it later. For a 3 spot, you can get into Alcorn State at Vanderbilt.
Hey, Diego Pavia is more than worth the cost of
worth the
admission.
price
Yeah.
of admission there for sure. So the next game we have after that, the South Alabama, Ohio, which I love it. It's I hope it goes off the rails. I hope it's a comparison stick between the conferences. I just hope all of that. What
What's a
Beth said
comparison
previously.
stick?
I don't know. Is that a measuring stick? I have no idea.
I just want to know what a comparison stick is. It sounds like it's an old timey thing.
It
I mean,
does.
I think Commish
Probably meant
like,
measuring
yardstick.
stick.
Okay,
but
okay.
Yeah.
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 The old,
But it's not
the old
wrong.
comparison stick.
That's all right. That's how you find water, right?
I like this one better.
Close
Hit
enough,
it with the
close enough.
stick.
That's what I was imagining. Like, to pick your favorite horse, hit it with a stick. This is a game in like 1902. I don't know.
Well, you grab like a stick and then you compare them. And you're
Sickos
like,
Committee
which one
does
I
not
want.
endorse animal cruelty.
This is the worst version of hoop and stick.
You have to compare two sticks.
Horse
and
and
see
stick.
which is better for horse and stick.
It's what the kids. It's what the kids in the Golden Horde did. I'm assuming they played horse and stick.
All right, I'm gonna
I'm
try to
sorry.
keep going.
I'm so tired.
It's great. Sam Houston at UCF. I'm kind of interested there to see what the Bearcats bring. UCF is going to be very tough in the bounce house, but I want to see if UCF has some fight. Georgia Southern at Nevada on True TV.
This one I like too. Nevada's
This-
look really good. They're 2-0. No, 1-1. My bad.
1-1. All right. And Georgia Southern's coming off a rough loss against Boise. Then they have to play another. Georgia Southern's playing 2 Mountain West teams to start the season. One home, one away.
Hell
What
yeah.
the hell? All right. Love it. That's gonna be fun. If I could just throw True TV on the screens, is going there. Kansas at Illinois, which
Interesting.
I'm really interested in this game.
Interesting.
that one's like what
This is
does
like a
Illinois have?
1913 national title game.
It does. It feels like this is a Final Four game.
Yeah.
Or maybe no, it's an Elite Eight
this
game.
is like an Elite Eight
It's an
game.
Elite
Yeah.
Eight game, yeah.
I'm
Elite Eight.
I'm so curious about what Kansas will be this year. And this is like that first like mini taste of like, hey, Kansas, y'all up?
Y'all up.
This is also the time of the year when Illinois like does something spicy
Right.
before immediately dropping back into Illinois, right?
Yeah,
So-
like In a lot of the part of the season, it's difficult to gauge much by Illinois, but I feel like early September Illinois, we might actually get a little bit of a look of what these teams might be, and that's fun. It's kind of a sneak peek sort of a game.
Is this the one where they're wearing the Red Grange uniforms? Or
Ooh,
no?
I don't know.
All the cool kids love Red Grange, Illinois.
right.
Illinois. You want the Gen Zers and Gen Alphas kids love
That's
Red
right.
Grange. Come get paid at Illinois.
I'm trying to figure
No,
out.
October 19th. No.
Okay, so they're not doing this. Okay.
No, they're
'Cause
doing it for Michigan.
Michigan. Okay. All right. Perfect. The next game for me, it's going to be on CBS Sports Network, which I feel like I never turn off CBS Sports Network.
It does
it's
have a
just
lot of the
always
best
on.
games.
Well, I mean, they carry the CFL also. San Jose State at Air Force. That is incredibly intriguing to me on a few levels. So the head coach of San Jose State is Ken Niumatalolo, and he has played Air Force many, 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 many times as the head coach of Navy. So he probably knows how to defend Air Force's offense. Attack.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Air Force is bullshit. Yes.
Air Force is bullshit. No, it's not bullshit. It's fucking pure football. But now he's coming in with a spread and shred attack, and I just don't like throwing for over 300 yards, but only running for like 60. I am fascinated by this game. This matchup just does not. It doesn't make sense, but I love it.
Do you know how I make chicken salad? Spread and shed. Spread and shred. I fucked up the joke.
Yeah. Edit it,
Sure.
Arthur. No, just keep it.
Wow, 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 wow.
There we go. I was waiting for the goofy sound. I was about to ask for it.
Jokes is hard, man.
All right, South Florida at Alabama, which Jordan has dubbed this as a revenge match. They are dedicating the field for Nick Saban this game.
Do it. Fucking do it.
It would be really
It would be
funny.
extremely
I don't
funny.
think it's going to happen, but it would be really funny.
You know what? I know it's not going to happen, and so I would be more than happy to watch South Florida run back the opening kickoff for a touchdown so that we can just savor the crowd shots.
And then cut to Nick.
That would be
cut
so
to
many
Nick Saban.
surrender cobras.
Cut to Nick Saban, arms crossed, just
Yep.
like when
Him
Pat
and-
McAfee stands next to him.
Yeah. And then, like, South Florida, like, you are absolved from participating in the entire rest of this football game at that point. Like, you have given me exactly what I want
That's all we want. We just want a couple of screenshots that we can use in the future.
forever.
Forever. That's it. That's all we want, South Florida. Give it your best shot, which I know they will.
Oh, yeah.
Because South Florida is going to... I mean, South Florida is coached by the former Tennessee offensive coordinator, Alex Golesh. So, I mean, it could be fun. It could be spicy, but dude, Alabama looked really good against Western Kentucky. But, again, it's Western Kentucky, but, who knows? Next game we have Virginia at Wake Forest, and I am really surprised this is not on the ACC network.
Oh, ESPN
It's on ESPN
2.
2. This game, this is my game. This is my ACC right here. UVA, you got a Cavalier and a Demon Deacon. These two mascots, like human-based mascots, like the black and gold and the blue and the orange. Oh, God. Yeah. Like, inject this ACC into my veins. I love
We
this.
also have our beautiful child, Anthony Calandria.
Anthony Calandria. You have Dave Clawson, who loves talking heads and, the slow mesh.
The Sickos Committee does endorse injectable ACC.
That's right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
That's right.
I like though the reason this game is on ESPN2
Yeah.
is like ESPN knows that Clemson offense just has to be quarantined. Because like the game that is on ACC Network
yeah.
opposite this game is App State at Clemson.
Yeah.
And ESPN was like, oh, like we gotta hide this one. Like
We
show
may
the
need to
people
hide this one.
Virginia at Wake Forest instead.
So, like, you would go to a sports bar that doesn't have ACC network, and this would, and the Virginia Wake Forest game would be on.
Can you
like,
put the Clemson game
why are we
on? We
watching?
don't get the ACC network.
Why? Like when I was in Pocatello, Idaho, there was Anthony Calandria versus like I think it was NC State, and I loved every bit of that game. And then like Purdue versus somebody on like a Friday night or something. It was so ridiculous. It was like this. Yeah, you set this up for Friday night TV to watch these two teams play, and like you're just at a bar and you're like, oh my god, somebody just threw an interception. What the hell just happened there? Yeah, that's that game.
There are 4 ESPN Plus games on this time slot too.
I love it. You got
They're
Buffalo.
all of like weird quality.
Yeah, Buffalo at Missouri. Which you got Pete Lem Buffalo is the nickname that I'm not gonna get to stick.
You're really working on that one.
It's not working. It's not gonna stick. I'm not trying to make fetch happen or whatever.
Yeah, stop trying to make fetch happen.
I'm not gonna do that. You have the Cajuns versus the Owls of Kennesaw State, at Kennesaw State. So that's Kennesaw State's first home game, are the Raging Cajuns. I really would love Kennesaw State to win that one.
Hey, Pitt Girl, Louisiana Lafayette at Kennesaw State conference game, yes or no?
No.
Correct.
Good job.
All right. You have Tulsa at Arkansas State. I have got to pull for the Golden Hurricane. Arkansas State apparently got away with one.
Oh, we didn't mention that. Yeah, the ref said that Central Arkansas probably should have had that should have been an incomplete catch for Arkansas State.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, the Sunbelt refs said they fucked it.
Well, did you guys see the video, like see the play? Because obviously I didn't see this live, but once the Sunbelt officials came out and said they got it wrong, like I saw the play.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, man, like that's an incomplete pass. I don't know what they were looking at.
It reminds me of VAR in the English Premier League, where they checked for like 5 or 6 different things, but then they forgot to check the most important thing of did he actually catch the ball?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't complete the catch, but they were like, is his foot in bounds? Was there enough time on the clock? Like all that stuff that they checked, but he didn't complete the catch. It was like VAR, like, oh yeah, he was actually offside, but the goal still counts. So let's go Golden Hurricane. Then you have the Revenge Bowl. UAB, not UAV. UAB at ULM. So you got the head coach, Bryant Vincent, was the interim coach at UAB. And he was not retained. They hired Trent Dilfer instead. Bryant Vincent went to be the OC at New Mexico for 1 year. Then he got the head coaching job at ULM. You have this game in Malone Stadium in Monroe, Louisiana. Does ULM have enough to take down UAB in kind of like a coach's personal revenge game? Also, there is some former UAB players on this ULM squad.
I was about to say, there are a few. I know that.
There are a few. I don't know exactly how many. Dusty from Warhawk Report probably knows the exact number, and he's probably yelling it at me now. He'll text me on Thursday. But again, I am really excited for that one. And ULM, what the hell, man? I cannot buy a General Booty jersey. Like, I need to buy a General Booty jersey.
They're already selling Diego Pavia jerseys at Vandy.
For God's sakes, let me buy a General Booty jersey. For the love of God already, ULM.
Commish, I have a question for you. If this game goes south for ULM, is it any sort of consolation that UAB is such a pretty shade of green?
Oh.
I do like the green.
Does that help? Is it like a balm for your soul a little bit?
Not really, because I don't expect ULM to win this game. So it's not like as a ULM fan, I'm just happy with any win. At this point, like after the past few seasons, and again, my dream season for ULM is 6-6 in a bowl game. So when they lose a game, it's not necessarily something that I'm heartbroken over. I still retain like App State beat us by 1 off of a walk-off like 56-yarder, and Texas State beat ULM by 1. I mean, those suck personally on a personal level, but I'm not like, I understand what ULM is up against in FBS. Like they're one of the poorest like athletic departments. I mean, it's not necessarily through no fault of their own or whatever, but I mean, it's just the area that they are in Northeast Louisiana. They're not necessarily too big of a school. They can range from like 8 to 10,000 students, but like it's not necessarily something that where you have a giant tradition, you have a giant alumni base, you have like something where you have expectations. Eventually, you would like to have that, but you kind of got to know where you're at, and this is kind of why I enjoy doing the Sickos Committee, and kind of how my mindset was developed for the Sickos Committee, because I understand not every team can win every game. There's math involved. Like, you just can't do it. Like, there's certain teams that are going to have losing seasons. There's certain teams that are going to have bad seasons, but we got to celebrate like any type of victory at any point in time. And ULM helps me teach that lesson. And if I turn some of you into ULM fans when they win, like, a game over Jackson State, when they do stuff like that, yeah, I appreciate it. But it's something that, I appreciate the green of UAB, but I understand the reality of the situation. Like, the sport is not the same at the top level, like Alabama versus ULM in like the same division. There's a giant gulf between those.
It's wild sometimes when you think about that.
Yeah, it's you think about that.
It's a wild fucking thing when you think
about
it.
Like Texas A&M has $200 million. Like, ULM is like, I need to play 3 bye games just to fund my athletic department. So there's a certain thing from that, but there's got to be a way where you can like slowly, incrementally break that cycle, which I'm so glad that the EA football, the game is back. So you could do that physically in your mind, do that. And I hope the coach can do that. Like, we got to take it step by step, game by game. I would love to see them win this game, because if they go 2-0 into a bye and then they have to face Texas in 9/21, which I mean is essentially pretty much almost a guaranteed loss. It's a bye game, but something like that. It's just something you have to have a different mindset as a fan, and you can't necessarily like. I love the tweets that we would see on the on like Twitter that get like 70,000 likes or whatever like that. It's like time to base my mental health on the my favorite 18-22-year-olds that went to the same school as me. There's a way where I try to make the committee where you don't have to do that. Right. Like, you can still be a fan and it won't ruin the rest of your day. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, you could be bummed out for like 30 minutes. You're like, okay, cool. I'm going to the store. I'm fine. But stuff like that. I would love to do that. I love UAB's green. They're not going to be doing that. ULM is going to be wearing the black jerseys for the first time in this game. Ooh. And I'm going to be excited. Do I need to do a ULM bet here, like a revenge bet, or are we good on this?
I'm good. I've yet to come up with anything like really good for ULM bets. I'm going to wait till something gets a little juicier. Okay. Then see if I can find something for you.
I feel like after this past week, we're good on people making bets for things they're going to do.
True. We don't necessarily need to make bets where we, pledge to eat something or,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nope.
I think we'll just leave it there.
Nope. Leave it there. Next game.
Okay, so we've talked about Colorado, Nebraska. We do have
at Tennessee.
So that
in the
is
Mayo.
Right. This is the Duke's Mayo Kick Classic, whatever we're calling it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Tennessee, if North Carolina plays like they played against Western Carolina, they are turbo fucked. So
North Carolina State, but yeah.
Is that a technical term?
Yeah. Oh yeah, they are turbo fucked.
That's right.
That's a term to art. Western Michigan at Ohio State. Ohio State is continuing to fund the MAC.
That's right. They paid like 1.9 for Akron, 1.9 million for Akron. I think like 1.8 for Western Michigan, or maybe it was 1.8 for both. I don't know. Did they get like a package deal?
I don't know, but this is why. Hey, that's why you got to talk about your salaries, okay? Everyone talk about your fucking salaries.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. I mean,
pay transparency for MAC teams.
That's right.
And also for everybody else. Happy Labor Day, kids.
Houston at Oklahoma.
On
the SEC network.
Ew. Ah.
That's weird.
Houston might need just to have a chalk outline drawn around them. This is going to be rough.
I don't know.
They're still washing the Dana out. It's gonna be a while.
It's kind of wild to think about the like evolution that this specific game has gone through by
yeah.
like not really being a thing. Because like you remember that time when like Houston beat Oklahoma and
Week
like
one.
it was a big deal.
Yeah.
And Houston was in the G5 then.
Yeah.
And we went from that to them being in the same conference for a year to them being
In a
now
different
in
conference.
different
Yeah.
conferences where Houston is in Oklahoma's old conference, but now Houston is in a like probably a worse state than they were when they were the G5 team upsetting Oklahoma.
Not
Like,
maybe a
it's-
worse state. Absolutely a worse state.
I'm trying to be charitable.
Sure.
Do you know how many conferences Houston has been in their history as a
Oh,
football team?
it's got to be
A
like
lot.
4 or 5. Oh no.
It's 7. It's
Oh,
7.
shit. Where
So
were they?
the Lone-
Where were they before the Southwest Conference?
So the Lone Star Conference, the Gulf
Yeah,
Coast Conference,
okay,
the
okay.
Missouri Valley Conference, they were
Yeah.
independent. Then they were in the Southwest Conference. Then CUSA. Then they were in the American. Now they're in the Big 12.
Jesus Christ.
Is that
Okay.
7? I don't know. I
I
can't
don't know.
count.
Keep going.
6 or 7, whatever. So next one after that, we already talked about App State at Clemson on the ACC network. We already talked about Texas Tech, Washington State, Boise State at Oregon on Peacock.
Hell yeah.
Why is this on peak? Oh, boo.
Yeah.
No, I
just-
like that. I mean, this is because this could have been on NBC, and then it would be more annoying to watch.
That's
Peacock
true.
is like honestly, it's come so far. Like, there's still some. My biggest complaint with Peacock is that if there's like a live event happening,
Mm-hmm.
you cannot like move. You can't go back.
Yeah.
Mm.
If you want to like watch any like replay or anything, you have to wait, and then sometime after the event is over, like they'll put the replay up.
Yeah.
But like it's not like you can't. If I get home like half an hour late, I can't just go back and watch.
I hate Peacock personally because it's like 51 seconds behind the timeline.
Mm.
It tends to be a little more delayed.
Yeah, it's so delayed. But if everybody's watching on Peacock and you don't have a live feed of it, it's fine.
I'm just secretly a boomer and don't like having to pay for extra things because I'm the last person under 30 still paying for cable.
God, man, I wish just put this shit all together again, please.
yeah.
I just want
Stop
cable
breaking
again.
it. Stop breaking it. Just
It's
put it all
almost like
together again.
cable was kind of a good idea, actually.
Can I interest you in DirecTV?
Would
No,
you like
to
Dish
watch-
Network?
I like to watch my football games, please. Beth.
Oh, okay. You don't want to imbibe football the way I'm imbibing it right now, which is y'all send me messages so I know what's going on.
Literally,
Varsity
Hey,
app,
this is what the
Varsity
Varsity
app.
Sports
Yeah.
Network is for.
This is
That's
true.
right.
literally, folks, yesterday during the Boston College Florida State game, Beth was finding out about the game literally just through updates from us, but way
Yeah.
delayed as well.
Wait till later.
I didn't realize that was why you couldn't see it.
Yeah.
I just figured that Puddles had engaged you in some very intense conversation you could not get out of.
I mean,
Beth
that
was-
is also a real thing. I was able to watch the first half, and then I came back home, and I'm like, okay, maybe I can figure out a way to watch this somehow, some other way. Nope. Nope.
So I sent a text. I was like, yeah, Boston College has got the ball at Florida State's 5. It's the 2-minute. We can't call it 2-minute warning.
That's right. Yes.
That's the 2-minute warning.
It's the 2-minute tinkle.
2-minute tickle.
We
Hey,
can say
Beth.
2-minute warning.
2-minute
we
tickle.
do not have corporate overlords that are going to come in and tase us.
Hey, if you would
that's
like
a
to be our
2-minute
corporate overlord, though, we're happy to take that. Finish it, Commish.
That's more of a corporate
Okay.
sugar daddy situation.
We got New Mexico State. I don't. It's on ESPN2 at like 9:15 Central. Oregon State at San Diego State. That feels strange because it's like the team that was in the Pac-12 versus at the team that wanted to get in the Pac-12.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't. And then like San Diego State has like the new offense, the former Kent State head coach and the fun Colorado offensive coordinator for like half a year. Sean Lewis. And I'm curious because I love Oregon State's QB, Giovanni McCoy, who was at Idaho last year, and now he's there with the Beavs. So I'm very intrigued by that game. That's on CBS Sports Network. Again, I'm probably going to have CBS Sports Network on the entire fucking day. And then you have Utah State at USC. This is the nightcap, and it's on Big Ten Network. We have the Trojan test. Is that what we're going to call it?
Body language just so shifted violently right there. Go, Beth.
This feels like such a trap game for USC to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like this, like Admiral Akbar should be screaming at USC going into this game.
I mean, I don't agree because I don't think that highly of Utah State. That's nothing against Utah State. Like, I don't think that that's a great team right now.
Yeah.
I'm like, when it comes to USC, I still can't get over that video where they're like on a plane, but somehow like it's like supposed to be the Trojan horse, and somehow they're like on the wrong side now or something.
Yeah,
like
the Trojan horse, famously full of Trojans.
Yes, that's exactly. They snuck in so that their parents
the community noted hype video. We love that. We love the hype video that gets community noted, and then all the USC fans, which apparently we have a lot of USC fans that follow us, which was
we do,
which was very baffling to me in the replies. I was like, "What the hell?" I didn't know.
Oh, maybe they liked us making fun of Alex Grinch.
Okay, they joined us for the Alex Grinch.
For them.
Yeah.
No, I want to clarify something about what makes this game a trap game to me. This, like, there is no, I cannot make the logical argument that Utah State should be able to hang with USC, except to say that USC just played a big game against a big opponent in front of everybody, and it's 18 to 22-year-olds. And
it's short.
And like in every single one of these teams is, even the very, 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 very best of them is going to give us some baffling games this season that don't make sense. And I look at this one, and in my brain, it has the hallmark of a, like, we're going to look at this in a month and go, how? So how could this have happened?
This is the game where I want to go to sleep, and Utah State keeps me up late.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm tired from tweeting all damn day long, and Utah State keeps me up late. Spencer Petras, the starting quarterback for Utah State, got hurt, so they're down to their backup. But then their backup like lit it up against Bobby Moe or Booby Moe, since that was the episode title last time.
It kept trying to change it to like MO capitals, because like whenever I post it, I type the title into I think it's called like titlecapitalization.com or something like that, and it kept trying to make the MO like Missouri.
Booby, comma MO.
Booby Mizzou.
Yeah, like it was trying to like capitalize it and format it and be like, oh, Booby, Missouri. Okay.
I love this so much.
I know that place.
I love this so much.
Commish, I just want to jump back to you proposing that this game be called the Trojan test. Let's not call it that, because I think that's what happens at the condom factory.
Oh.
Okay.
Somebody's job is to do QA on those. Just saying.
The US ACT. I don't know. We can try to figure something.
Commish, we are rapidly running out of time.
All right, let's go.
Give me a couple of the FCS FBS games that you like.
All right, Idaho at Wyoming. Idaho lost their starting quarterback to a collarbone injury for like 6 weeks, but Wyoming looked rough. Idaho fans in our mentions still seem to think that they can skirt by Wyoming with a backup QB. Okay,
that's gonna be a tough one.
Perfect. Alcorn at Vandy. We already talked about $3 to get in. Cal Poly at Stanford. Somebody says, "Isn't everyone California Poly?"
Yes.
I want to give a shout out to Eastern Kentucky at Western Kentucky, just for the fact that it is the directional Kentucky fight. I love that. We are definitely monitoring the Rentschler Stadium between Merrimack and UConn. Shout out to Ball State for finally starting their season. They're playing Missouri State. Ball State versus Missouri State. Ball State opted out of week 0 and week 1. this was due to scheduling with Army. But the Ball State Cardinals are
Finally gonna play a game.
Can we do like the Smash Brothers entrance? Ball State is such a
Oh yes. Hey, someone put that in the idea for me, please.
Sac State at Fresno State. That is fucking like neighborly hate right there. I love that because Sac State started against San Jose State and they played Fresno State. You got Southeast Louisiana at Southern Miss. That is kind of like almost like an I-12, I-59 rivalry game a little bit. But Southern Miss needs to get on track. They hadn't scored any points, and guess what? Southeast Louisiana didn't score any points against Tulane either. So they're gonna score points for the first time. The Thunderbirds go to the Sun Bowl against UTEP and pay their Pete. We have St. Francis at Kent State. I am calling this game FLASHDANCE. Oh, what a feeling. It is the Red Flash versus the Golden Flashes. Texas Southern at Rice. Utah Tech at UNLV. William and Mary go to Myrtle Beach for vacation at Coastal Carolina. I want to give a shout out to some FCS versus FCS games. We got Incarnate Word at South Dakota State. That should be phenomenal. South Dakota State looks to get a win. We have Texas A&M Commerce, which we have the Big Sky Southland Challenge at number 18 UC Davis. That's at 9 p.m. That's going to be one of your options late at the end of the game. West Georgia at Abilene Christian. Shout out to West Georgia. Last week, they got their first win as an FCS team. Abilene Christian is looking to get over the tortilla and get their first win in the season. We have one picker wheel here because we're running out of time here. We have FCS versus FCS. If you want to click on the picker wheel, or I can do it. I don't care.
Got it. Our game is Stonehill at Stony Brook. A CAA NEC challenge, I believe.
The Skyhawks,
something.
The Skyhawks versus the Seawolves.
Okay.
Ooh, I like
Elemental
that.
Aminals.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Stony Brook hasn't won a game.
Everything will change when the Fire Turtle Nation attacks.
Stony Brook hasn't won a game since 2022, I believe. And Stonehill is, I think they're finally past their period in FBS. FCS, where they can like make the playoff or whatever.
I would have to double check that statement. Give me a second.
I think.
Yeah, I'll figure it out later on. I'm not sure. You can cut all that. Okay.
One more thing I want to give a shout out to. I know we're not.
Sorry, they are ineligible.
Okay, still ineligible. We got Drake at the no contest. Drake at Eastern Washington. The red field is in play. Shout out to our favorite team, Prairie View A&M, at Northwestern State. So you got Prairie View at the Demons in Natchitoches.
Purple versus purple. A purple versus purple.
Purple versus purple. So you got purple and gold versus purple and orange. So that should be a purple matchup. That's going to be really, really great. Also, one more shout out.
And really, really grape.
It will be Maine at Montana State.
Ooh.
The Black Bears going to Bozeman.
One game I do have to shout out before we leave is Norfolk State and Virginia State.
Ooh.
That is a rivalry game, and that was also a very bizarre loss last year.
Bizarre loss for Norfolk State.
It was Virginia State is a D2 team, and it was a wild wild loss.
This is a rivalry game. Is this the Labor Day Classic, or I don't know? Blue's gonna kill me if I got that wrong.
Don't call it Labor Day Classic, or else someone's gonna
don't do it. Cut that, Arthur. Don't. Blue's gonna come kill me if I got Norfolk State game wrong.
I'm just really sad that none of you brought up the fact that like the March to 1 begins on Saturday with Teal taking on Carnegie Mellon at 1:00 in the afternoon.
Oh yeah, there you go.
The March to 1.
Tomcats over Terriers. Terriers? I think they're
Terriers.
There we go.
I have one last thing I just want to shout out. Because we shouted out Ball State, but right with that no contest, Drake is like, are they in the same boat technically where like they haven't really played a game yet?
Yes.
So there you go. I mean, and hey, with that no contest, like, you know, it's not the first time recently that a Drake has been involved in something that's no contest. So, you know, it happens.
Tiny point of correction. Carnegie Mellon is officially the tartan, but the mascot
Okay.
is a Scottish
I love
I
Terrier.
posted a picture of him in the chat.
I love him.
His name is Scotty.
Okay,
Can I
folks,
just end it?
go for it. Yeah, go.
Can I just end it on, I wanted to end on what Arthur had to say, but, just go wop, 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 wop.